welcome back, YouTubers. I'm Matsuyurific, back with yet another Top 5 Countdown list. Now this video was inspired by the Super Carlin Brothers video, The Top 5 Snubbed Disney Princesses, where he basically counted down the top 5 Disney females that should have been made Disney princesses, but were left off of the official list for one reason or another. However, instead of looking at Disney movie ladies, we are going to be looking at ladies from the Disney Channel TV shows. So before we begin, let's go over a few rules, as there are rules for how one becomes an official Disney princess. Now, of course, just like in the official list, these ladies must all be animated. Another rule that we're going by is that they must be either born royal, marry royal, or perform an act of heroism, Mulan. Now, since these are not Disney films, we can't really go by box office success, so instead we'll be looking at how well these ladies are received by their fans. Not just fans overall, but specifically fans of their demographics. So, obviously, female fans are going to be important, but of course I will also be looking at overall fans, how the fandoms really love these characters. Another rule is that they must be exclusive to Disney Channel, Disney XD, or Disney Junior. They have to be on a Disney TV channel, and they cannot have appeared in a full-length Disney feature film that aired in theaters. Now, one last rule that I'm going to throw in here, and that's just for simplicity's sake of this list, as there are some girls in these franchises that could also make the list, is there will only be one lady per franchise. So if there are more than one girls who fit this list in the same TV show, then I will be going with the one who fits the list more, or deserves to have this spot more than the other. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go over our honorable mentions. The ladies who didn't quite make this list for one reason or another. Now first, let's get the obvious one out of the way, Lilo. Of course, Lilo was in a Disney animated film which aired in theaters, so she does not qualify for this list. However, she is not a Disney princess, and she did appear in her own TV series where she performed several acts of heroism. I wish I could include you on this list, Lilo, but unfortunately, you were already in a very successful Disney film which aired in theaters. I also want to include Molina from The Emperor's New School. She saved Cusco a bunch of times in the TV show, and assuming that she eventually married Cusco, we have to assume here, because they never actually say that she got together with Cusco in the end. If she had married Cusco, she would have married Royal. But the fact that Cusco is from a movie that aired in theaters, that again keeps Molina off of this list. My last honorable mention that I really wanted to put on here, but I felt like the others deserved it a little bit more than her, is Penny Proud from the Proud family. Now, Penny is a weird one because she did appear in a TV show and she was animated, but she only had one act of heroism through the entire thing, or at least one that would be considered a true act of heroism, and that was in the DCOM movie, and it was kind of meant to end the series, so it doesn't really count because it was just something that was meant to end the series. And yeah, I really enjoyed that movie, and those of you who saw my Black History Month video that I made last month, you know that I really liked the Proud family and I really love Penny, but unfortunately I could not put her on this list, especially since if I had left number 5 off of this list, I would probably receive a lot of hate for this. Speaking of the list, let's move on to number 5, Mabel Pines of Gravity Falls. Now this was actually kind of a hard place to choose, because out of the other 4 characters that were on this list, Mabel seems like she would fit not quite so much, but she does still kind of fit. She's saved Dipper several times, so she's performed several acts of heroism. Gravity Falls is one of the biggest shows to air on Disney Channel as in the past 10 years. And Mabel herself is a really popular character, especially among Gravity Falls fans. I could not justify leaving her on this list because of that, and so Mabel comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 on the list, you can call her, you can beep her if you want to reach her, it is Kim Possible from Kim Possible. Now, Kimmy had to make this list. Her show is all about her performing acts of heroism throughout the entire series. That is all she does. She is very well loved by fans, even to this day, even has YouTubers named after her. KP was so loved by her fans that when Disney canceled her show, fans went into a frenzy and demanded that the show come back, which it did for a 4th season. And that in itself, on top of all the acts of heroism that she commits, earns her the spot on this list. Now, number 3 on this list is one that I considered placing below Kim, but at the same time, I felt like she's a very underrated character, and not a lot of people know about her or talk about her. However, she is very well loved by her fans, especially in her target demographic. I am, of course, talking about Princess Sofia from Sofia the First. Now, a lot of you might not have heard about this little girl, and some of you have probably written her off as a preschool show character. But despite the fact that her show does air on Disney Junior, I feel that Sofia is very wrongly snubbed by the Disney fandom. Sofia is a great character and her show is amazing, and if I wasn't restricting myself to one girl per franchise, I would have probably included her sister Amber on this list. As for acts of heroism, she performs them several times. She's saved Enchantia a bunch of times. She's saved her school, she's saved other kingdoms. She even has a secret library dedicated to her going out and helping other people in need. I've always believed Sofia to be a very underrated character, and I really think that she deserves to be an official Disney princess. On top of that, I think she deserves to be the first Hispanic Disney princess. Yes, that is right. Sofia and her mother are of Hispanic descent, and if they had been made official Disney princesses, along with all of their other princess guest stars, she would have been the first Hispanic Disney princess. And I think that that in itself, along with everything else, earns her a spot on this list. And if not Sofia, then the number 2 spot on this list should definitely earn that spot, and that is Elena Castillo Flores from Elena of Avalor. Elena of Avalor is still a fairly new series, which is only just now starting the second half of its first season. It was a spin-off from Sofia the First, but unlike Sofia, it airs on Disney Channel, which allows older audiences to discover her for themselves. Yes, Sofia airs all of its specials on Disney Channel as well, but it is primarily on Disney Junior. Elena, on the other hand, does air on Disney Channel, so not only do fans of Sofia, who are slightly more grown up now, get to enjoy Elena, but new people who've never even heard of Sofia or never even thought to give it a chance can also watch Elena and get some slightly more mature stories out of it, and as well get all the same stuff that we get out of Sofia. Again, Elena has performed several countless acts of heroism throughout her series, most notably being saving all of Avalor from the evil sorceress Shiriki, with Sofia's help, of course. And like Sofia, Elena could be the very first Disney princess of Hispanic descent. In fact, Elena kind of is the first official Disney princess of Hispanic descent. She's not seen as an official Disney princess with the official lineup. However, she did have her own coronation at Disney World, which is usually what they do to welcome official Disney princesses. My best guess is that the reason she's not part of the official lineup is the same as Anna and Elsa, Since Elena of Avalor is still coming out on TV and is selling its own merchandise, I imagine that Disney's probably going to try to market that on its own for as long as they can. But hopefully, they will be able to establish her as an official Disney princess later on down the line. Moving on to the number 1 spot. Many of you were probably guessing it. Some of you would probably be very, very angry at me if I didn't include her in this list. She is Disney Channel's number 1 favorite princess, Star Butterfly, from Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Acts of heroism? Again, on a daily basis. Born royal? You betcha. Animated? Obviously. In fact, Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one of the most successful, currently developing shows that is on TV right now. In fact, out of the shows that are being aired on Disney Channel, Disney XD, Disney Junior, etc., that are still in the making, as in still coming out with episodes, which means that does not include Gravity Falls, it is the most popular show they have on right now. I doubt that there is a single person watching this video who could deny that Star Butterfly deserves to be an official Disney princess. No, she does not have a full-length feature film, but she could. I guarantee you a lot of fans would go to the theaters to watch a Star vs. the Forces of Evil movie in theaters. In fact, comment down below if you would go to watch that. I know I certainly would, and I can think of several people off the top of my head who probably would as well. Star is the epitome of what Disney has been leading up to with their princesses. Disney princesses nowadays are much more independent. They perform their own acts of heroism. They don't really need a man in their lives or a love interest of any kind to be successful, even though Star does have Marco, and I totally ship Starco and cannot wait to see how that develops in season 3. But she also doesn't really need a boyfriend either. I would have also been perfectly fine if she and Marco had just stayed friends and just been really good best friends that everybody thought would become a couple, but then never actually becomes a couple because they just weren't interested in each other. I would have actually been very happy to see that. I'm still happy with where everything's going, and I am very excited to see where Starco goes in the future. But if they did eventually just become the best friends that don't ever enter into a romantic relationship, that would also be perfectly fine with me. But as this is a YouTube video, I know that my opinion is not the only one that's going to count, so I want to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. Which Disney character do you think most deserves to be a Disney princess? Do you agree with my list? Is there anything that you feel that I left out that should be on this list? Feel free to leave a comment down below and leave a like if you thought this was good, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. Until then, I will see you guys in the next one.